There's a work print of Chasing Amy. Why was it?
You gotta be fucking kidding me. No way, one word at a time. That's thick, dude, that's thick.
On the internet, there's...
Do me a favor, you know how I sit up here and do bad accents? Do your worst American accent for me. Say the question in that American accent.
On the internet...
That's good, man, that's good, I'm hearing it.
There's reviews of Chasing Amy, a work print of Chasing Amy. Why was the footage not used for like Clerks X? More rats. Why wasn't there Chasing Amy?
Why isn't there
Chasing Amy?
I got you. But it was real touch and go for a minute there. Chasing Amy X, we tried to, and Criterion, the company, had put out the Laserdisc and subsequently, or years later, the DVD. The guy that runs the company was like, look, I hate double dipping. And I was like, look, I don't want to double dip, man. I have no interest in double dipping myself, but I would like to commemorate the 10 years and put a disc out that has like the Q&A that we shot with the whole cast and whatnot. So he was like, well, maybe we could just build it as a supplemental disc and then sell that, or sell the 2-disc set for people who never bought the first one. I was like, that's great. Then he never called me back. And then the anniversary passed, and I was like, we're busy on other things. Anyway, I was getting ready for Zach and Mary. Then, after, I guess right before we went to work on a couple of discs, I got a call from Buena Vista from Disney Home Video. And they said, we're gonna take Clerks and Chasing Amy and put them on Blu-ray. We're gonna put them out in a box set with Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, which is on Blu-ray already, and it's a Kevin Smith box set, and your picture goes in the front. Do you want to be involved? And I was like, yeah, and that's generally how those things happen. Like, when you put together the DVD after the movie, you're pretty much the engine that drives the whole thing and whatnot. But when they do a later release down the road and shit like that, they call you up as a courtesy, but if it's one iota of inconvenience to them, they just move on without you. So I always try to make it as easy as possible, because I know I want to get the shit onto the disc, because I'm a fan first, right? And I like getting a disc that has a bunch of cool shit on it, so I want to make sure that if something's going out there with our shit on it, my name on it, it's also packed to the gills. So I said, well, we got this Chasing Amy Q&A that we did a few years ago at the Vulgarthon out in Los Angeles. Whole cast is up there. But what I'd really like to do is a documentary, kind of like we did with the Clerks DVD. And they came up with a budget. Zach and Joey went out and shot the documentary. So it's all going to be on there. Essentially, we ran out of anniversaries after Mallrats because nobody else wanted to hit the date with us. People didn't want to observe the anniversary, I guess. They were just like, who gives a shit? I was like, hey man, 10-year anniversary of Chasing Amy's coming out. And the dude was like, so? I was like, well, some people care, you know. So they didn't care. I mean, even now, like Disney's putting it on Blu-ray, but they're not doing a DVD version. I think, not to say they're phasing out DVD, but they want to drive sales towards Blu-ray. So they're not putting out a standard version, it's only on Blu-ray, but if you don't have a Blu-ray player, don't worry, some motherfucker will put it up on YouTube the next day, and you can watch it for free. The same way I'll be watching it. As well as on my 103-inch television with a Blu-ray player. But I'll play them side by side, and for you, I'll look at the little screen. In memory of solidarity for you and shit. Then when that's all over, I'll be like, back to the 103-inch. I got a 103-inch television in my room, dude. It sits 2 feet from the end of my bed. It is phenomenal. It is just the coolest thing in the world. It's a big fucking television that's essentially as tall as me. One of the first discs I put into it was Live Free or Die Hard. And then I popped up on the screen, and I was the same height. And I went and stood next to myself on screen, and I looked at me, and when you're looking at a 103-inch television from 2 feet from the end of your bed, you don't watch a movie anymore, you are in the movie. So there I was, having a conversation with me, although I wouldn't answer myself, I was talking to Bruce Willis. And I kept feeding me lines and shit, like fucking just telling me what to say, like, it's a command center, it's a command center, you know? And I looked at myself, and I remember when we shot Live Free or Die Hard, like I hated the way I looked. I was like, oh, that's as fat as I'm ever gonna get. I'll never be that fat again. And then I was standing next to myself on the monitor, and I was just like, fuck. I wish I was as thin as the guy in Live Free or Die Hard. Not the thin guy, the other guy, the fat guy. Less fat, I guess, I don't know. But it's cool, man, it's awesome. Some screen that big and shit like that. It's a phenomenal fucking thing. You didn't ask about that, though. Sometimes I gotta go home in my head where I'm like, yeah, big TV, lady. and shit. You ever watch porn on a TV that big?
Yes.
So you know what I'm getting at, man.
What else is internet for? What else is the internet for?
What else is it meant for? Yeah, fucking A. You got a screen that big, it's sincerely just to see a pussy 4 times as large as your other dick. So we can all stare at the details, so dudes can go like, okay, we've got it mapped out, let's go. We get a little droid to film the plans and shit, take off, just in case. Get into the old coot out in the desert, pops it in, he's like, It's a picture of a giant pussy, all right? And that's my version of Star Wars. Credits. So that's coming November in the States. The Blu-ray box set comes out. It's got the 3 things on it. On the Clerks Blu-ray, which I was just like, why are you guys making a Clerks Blu-ray? Isn't Clerks kryptonite to Blu-ray? Isn't Clerks the opposite of everything Blu-ray stands for? And they're like, yeah, but... So that's going out. On that disc, we're putting the Jay and Silent Bob documentary. It was called Oh, What a Lovely Tea Party, the making of Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. Ironically, it's not going to be on the Jay and Bob Blu-ray, but on the Clerks Blu-ray. And then on the Chasing Amy Blu-ray, that's everything Chasing Amy oriented, including the documentary, which is really cool. I think it's called Tracing Amy.
Thank you.
It's not that clever, man. Come back. You good? Or you got more? You want to go more? You do want to go more.
More.
You're conflicted. Look at you. You're like, sometimes I just want to kiss you, man. I can't do it. I can't get the Scottish accent. Sorry. I'm trying. You talk. Say something. Let me see if I can say
One thing. How did you ever... I've looked at it.
How did you...
I've looked at it and I wanted for information about how you felt about Hunter Thompson. How did you rate Hunter Thompson as a writer?
All right, this ain't me making fun of you, but let me try it. How did you... Do it again. How did you rate Hunter S. Thompson?
How do you feel about Hunter S. Thompson?
Okay. How do you feel about Hunter S. Thompson? I just gotta roll my shit a lot. How do I feel about him? I loved him when I was a kid. I was a big fan of those books. Gonzo writing. When I was 14 years old, that's all I was interested in was Gonzo writing and whatnot. And I still respect him and whatnot, but you get older and shit.
Happens to us all.
Say it again. I'm just coming back to the speaker here.
It happens to us all, getting old.
It does. It fucking happens to us all. So true. I mean, look. You could probably see it from up there. Look. You're probably blinded by the kick you're getting off the fucking... Yeah, you get old, you fall apart and shit. I'm gonna be 40 in a couple months. It's so weird. I guess at age 40, I can't really come up in a dressing gown anymore. Just start dressing my age instead of dressing like somebody's retarded uncle at a fucking Little League game. Yeah, that's Uncle Kev. But it's comfy, It's all about comfort. That's what they say when you're dying, right? They're like, make them comfortable. Why not be that way in life as well? Hence the dressing gown, which, we call a robe because gown is a little bitch-like. It's called a robe, man. Fucking kings wear robes. This is a kingly robe, not a dressing gown. It's a dressing gown.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.